welcome back to my Astro Imaging Journey channel. It's been a long month of May, very cloudy. Did not get a single imaging session in during the month of May, unfortunately, but tonight we are back at it. So we got 3 targets lined up. NGC 6543, the Cat's Eye Nebula, M94, the Croc's Eye Galaxy. Doubtful that one will happen. And M57, the Ring Nebula. So let's go back to the Cat's Eye. As you can see, we only got 30 exposures to go on the Cat's Eye to complete it. And then the Ring Nebula will be starting at 11:20 and going till the end of the night. The Cat's Eye started. It's the first target. It's going to start as soon as it's ready to go. So we'll run that one for the 150 minutes. It's almost 3 hours. So let's take a look at our weather conditions for the night. Alright, as you can see, it's supposed to be a pretty clear night tonight and tomorrow night. Alright, let's jump into it. First, I'm just going to run through my routine. I already verified my polar alignment, and now I'm just going to run through my routine that I do every night now when I am able to image. And first, let's get everything connected. So you saw me connect up my guide scope, and now I'm connecting up the camera, the focuser, and my mount, and they all worked. And now you're gonna see me select the first target, click on Slew Now, and be back after it gets onto the target. Alright, we have arrived at the target. So the first thing we're going to want to do is get our guiding calibrated. So we've all been here before. Select our guide star, select track. It's going to auto calibrate, so it's going to run through that part, and let me speed this up. So the calibration is done, and as you can see, it started to guide, so we're just going to wait for that to settle for a second. And then we're going to switch over to our autofocus, and we need to get close. It's been, like I said, a month, so we need to get it close. I could go out there with the batting off mask, but what I'm going to show you here works pretty well. And we're going to, as you saw, I have my frame and focus module on the left hand side. I'm going to just take one image, and we're going to look at the HFR as well as the shape of the stars. So 9.3, I know that's a little high, and my stars look a little bloated. So we're just going to move in on the focuser 100 steps, a course step, and then we're going to take another image. And as you can see, in was the incorrect direction, pun intended. So we went to an 11.89. So now we move out 200 steps. 100 to take us back to the original, and then another 200 or another 100 to move past it. And we are now at a 6.71, and the stars look a lot better. So we're going to just go ahead and run the autofocus sequence, and I'll speed this up. Alright, and the autofocus is complete, so we're going to close this out, and then we're going to start up our sequence. Alright, so let's run this sequence, and we have an error. One of the targets ends before the session begins, so let's go back into our sequencer. Let's look at those start and end times. That one's good. Oh, this guy, AM versus PM. So let's change that and double check our third one. And yep, that one needs adjusted as well. Alright, now we should be able to start running. And it is, so it's slewing over. We've been through a lot of this before, so I'm just going to cut back. Oh, wait. Let's watch this guy right here. I'm going to be curious to see what my error rate is. How far away. In an upcoming episode, you're going to see me go through the star sense alignment, and since then things have been going a lot better for the auto centering. So let's see what we have here. It's done taking the first image, found it in one region pretty quick and under 500 pixels on the air. That's really good for the way I've been running for the past 6 months or so. No, yeah, about 6 months now. So we're gonna see how quickly this one goes as well. Alright, it is centered. So now it's just going to run through. It's going to do another calibration on the tracking, the auto guiding, and then it'll run through and do yet another autofocus. I have it set to recalibrate the tracking or the guiding at the start of every target and every meridian flip, and then I also have it set to redo the focus at the start of every target and as well as every 1.5 degrees Celsius temperature change. So we're gonna come back when the sequence actually starts imaging. Alright, all the pre-imaging sequences have occurred. The auto-guiding calibration, the autofocus, all those good things. So now we are imaging, and let's see what our first one looks like. Alright, our first image of the night has downloaded, and it doesn't look too bad. We're around 6, a little bit below on the HFR. Our tracking looks good. And just double checking when my meridian flip is going to be. So it looks somewhere around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So this shouldn't see a meridian flip. I should be done with this target well before then. I bring that up simply because I've had issues in the past where the hand controller has lost the date and time settings, but it retained the Latin long settings. And the last imaging session, I noticed that the meridian flip was a few hours off. And as it turns out, for whatever reason, the date and time was correct, but the time zone was off. So once I changed that back to Eastern, everything went back. So I just used that as a quick gauge, even though I check the date and time and Latin long after I power the mount up when I'm doing my alignment. This is just another sanity check to make sure that the meridian flip is with around 30 minutes from where it should be, because I think I have it set to go past the meridian 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes of time, not 30 minutes of space angle. So we'll do the meridian flip half an hour after it crosses the zenith, and I just make sure that that's right. That also helps ensure that my date and time is in fact right, and the time zone, of course. So we'll be back a little bit later. Alright, and here we are. Well, the first target, NGC 6543, has completed. We did have 3 targets, but the middle target, the Croxide Galaxy, was just a placeholder, a filler in case the first target completed early. The main focus tonight were the nebula, so we are now on to the Ring Nebula. As I mentioned earlier, part of the sequence is to recalibrate guiding on target change. It's already completed that, and now it's auto-focusing. In case you're wondering, I do that just to be safe. Guiding in different areas of the sky can be a little bit different. So I just like to make sure that the autoguider recalibrates at the beginning of every target. Never really was a problem, but I did notice some drift. So wasn't too big of an issue when I was dealing with star clusters and galaxies at the shorter exposure lengths of 1 minute and 2 minutes respectively. But these longer exposures on the nebula, and I'm doing 5 minutes on those, they were a little bit more affected, and I would occasionally get some trailing on the stars, elongation. So I tried this setting, and it appears to work better. I get more usable subs, so I put it as part of the workflow. And clearly, it's always a good idea when you're switching targets to refocus if you do a meridian flip or there's any mirror flop or anything, which I haven't really noticed, but better safe than sorry. So let's see what the first image comes up and looks like, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, and we are downloading the first frame here on the Ring Nebula, and let's see what we get. And looks pretty good. Stars are not malformed. Center target's nice and bright. HFR is about 5.5. Yep, I can live with that. So this will run until about 4:20 in the morning. Apologies for my dog sneezing in the background. And yeah, looks like we're going to be doing a meridian flip about 3:45, so that's before the sequence ends. So let's see how let's come back when the meridian flip occurs. See you in a bit. Alright, we are coming up on the meridian flip. So let's let this play out and see how well it does. I've had some issues in the past. It was mainly because I didn't have my star alignment proper, which caused issues on both centering and the meridian flip. So let's see, plate solved. Okay. So let's let this run. Alright, as you can see, the meridian flip succeeded. Went through the meridian flip process pretty flawlessly. Recentered, and it didn't recenter, it recentered based off the last frame, and it autofocused just fine. So we got 20 minutes or so left, so we'll be able to get a couple more frames in before the end of the night. Alright, and we are coming up to the end of the night, and we got 64 total subs, 5 minutes each, so 320 minutes. Not too bad. Close to 5.5 hours worth of imaging last night. I'll take that, since I haven't been able to do any imaging in the past month. So let's let the telescope park itself, and we're going to call this a night. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please hit that like button if you found anything useful. Subscribe to the channel if you so choose. Ring that bell if you want to get notified when I post something new. And as always, clear skies. Have a good one.